right, guys, this is what you do. This is doing flat work. So we're forming up the flat work. As you see, these boards are about they 3.5 inches. So you leave about a 1/2 inch at the bottom. Concrete need to be poured at about 4 inches. All right. Unfortunately, here, guys, we're gonna have to do just this bottom part, and then we got to come back on a different day and do the come back next week and do the top part up here, because if you look at the terrain up here, this is a tough lot. This lot, if you kind of see how hilly it is, just the drop is so much. So we got to put steps right here. These guys are cutting the curve so it can flow right in, and it's gonna be kind of difficult for cars and stuff for the most part. You need really an SUV, but we cut this out because we got to put steps up here. You can look right here. Steps gonna have to go right here. And once you get up here, then we can put a sidewalk to go up to the top. We're gonna do a driveway over here too as well. But it has to, because of the terrain, you can't get a concrete truck to back up in here, pour this right here dry. There's another little driving pad that's gonna be at the top. So you can't get a concrete truck won't be able to get in here and back in here because, with this terrain here, there's a drop on this right here. If you look, there's a drop on this right here. It's too much of a fall. That truck might mess around and flip over right there. Now, we can kind of get a pad here to make it easier for them, but that's just risking it. That going down like that, that's just too much for those concrete trucks. So I'm gonna do things a little bit different here. So we had to pour this right here using what they call a line truck. Line truck will come in and get all this. I try to go ahead and mark. You see it's on the ground. Kind of mark where the drive's gonna be. This is the other walk that goes right there. I try to make sure all those things are done for the guys. Don't like for there to be a whole lot of questions about what we're gonna do and how we're gonna do it. Because believe me, no matter what you do, you're gonna run into a problem. It's gonna always be a problem. And what I have to do, and the way I think, guys, is I think that I'm a problem solver. People really hire me to solve problems. Guys, you'll be amazed that in today's market, solving problems is very difficult. A lot of people can't solve problems anymore. They don't want to, say for instance, a lot of my subcontractors, when they come out here do work, when they run up against a problem, they just shut down. Well, we can't do that. And a lot of time I be thinking they're trying to make an excuse. It's not that, man. They got a lot they got to do too, man. And a lot of time they don't want to try to sit here and figure things out. It takes time. So what they'll do is they just go to the next job, or they go to the easier job. So for the most part, guys, you need to make sure you have things, you have things figured out for the most part on how you're gonna do things, so that when you get out here on the job, there's not a lot of thought involved. You don't have to think too much. And that's what you want to do, guys. So this is kind of where we're at. These guys right here. Guys, when it come down to this septic tank stuff, these guys are extremely detailed, man. Even the inspection services, man. These guys are really, everything has got to be done a certain way. Everything has got to be precise. And that's what they're going to make sure of. They're going to go through that thing. These septic tanks, man, they go through this thing with a fine-tooth comb. The guy was out here shooting, he had a transit out here, man, making sure that this right here, thing right here was level, which is good, but guys, when you get this kind of stuff right here done, it's very meticulous. So you got to make sure you do everything right. Everything has to be done right. There's, There's no imagination for anything else, man. I mean, well, they don't leave anything to the imagination. They make sure everything is done right. I get it. The last thing you want to happen is a failed sewer system. You don't want that at all. Okay. I think there we go, guys. You guys have a good day. Okay. All right. So this is what we got, guys. I forgot what I was. But I wanted to come over here and check on this right here deck. I told him, I wanted to pour a couple of pier beams, footings for pier beams. So I was just making sure it was there. So they got them poured. There's 3 of them. So they got that poured, so we're good on that. All right. And then here we got, now one thing that you want to make sure you got, guys, one thing I made sure when I talked to the guy, I don't like to leave anything to chance. I like to always kind of make sure the guys are doing it the way it's supposed to be done. I want to make sure that coming from that garage, that I got falls coming down this way. I want to make sure that if water hits on this right here dry, that water is going to come this way instead of going back into the garage. Does that make sense? So they pulled a string just to make sure, and I was making sure too. So I want to make sure, and you really can't just eyeball this stuff. You really need to put a level on it. That's why if you guys got the levels over there, you want to put a level on it just to make sure. And I figured that the water, I'm looking at it right now. Guys, when you do it now, I can kind of eyeball things now that I've done this enough. I can see the water coming down right here. Now, they say they got 10 yards on these trucks. They really don't know how much on this truck. Well, I was wrong. He probably got 10 yards for real. Now, sometimes you get a lot of concrete built up on the inside of it. So they're way in the truck. Drainage right there, and it's coming from the foundation, and we're going to run it out right here. So they're going to dig a trench and take that line right there and put it over there. See what I'm saying? And I'm also going to put the reason we got this right here is we're going to put a pad for steps. I mean, you need me? You need me? Huh? Okay. Hey man, make sure y'all gonna put that. Y'all gonna run that across there, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Nah, that needs to run across. That drainage when you, it's right here. Okay. And then tell them we got another pipe right here too. It's over there.
All right.
It's gonna go across here.
Oh, that goes over there? Like this?
No, it's just right here. Right off the steps right here. Yeah. Okay. And the reason we're running that pipe is for that pipe is going to get ran so that for the irrigation. So we'll have a pipe we can run our irrigation through. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna go get that pipe and just lay it over here so they remember. Because I'm fixing to get ready to go. So we got this right here. We cut this right here sidewalk out. We're gonna form this right here so the homeowner, and I did it so this right here kind of sway out a little bit, because when she come in here with her truck, she gonna have to come up here. We don't want the back tire to hit the curb, so all that needs to be there, and so you can switch before you call them up in there. I try to think.
I don't know if they showing it to you.
What's that?
See that little box on the back there right there?
Yeah.
That box, that's what you know.
You guys ever witness this right here? guys are cutting the curve. Use that saw to cut the curve. No, you can have that, buddy. See, this guy's gonna get the, once you cut it, he's gonna get that thing right sledgehammer, he's gonna knock it loose. Man, let me, I'm fixing to get ready to go. I don't even want to see the rest of this. There's always something go wrong, man. I don't even want to see it if it go wrong. I want to think the best. I guess you can't leave nothing to chance, man. But God, it's always something. I'm going to take this right here, pipe. Actually, the power company left this pipe, but we don't need it anymore. So take it. Put it right down here somewhere, so they'll remember it. You have any questions, man?
What's going on in the back?
Huh?
What's going on in the back?
Well, you know what's going on in the back. This is concrete
Concrete?
discussion, not a septic tank.
What could go
We
wrong with
already did.
concrete?
A lot, man. Talking about the installation of concrete, or
Like, you said you didn't want to like be here when concrete's here. Why is that? What
they
could...
can get into what the doggone truck gets stuck. We already had that skid steer. See, when they was grading this driveway, the skid steer stopped working. So when the skid steer stopped working, we had to use the other, luckily we had the other machine over here to do the rest of the grading for that hill right there. These are the things that can go wrong, man. It's just a lot. Man, anything can go wrong, man. They could have, I kind of watched it, man. I had a pipe up under the ground from a septic tank. That back tire could have pushed the dirt down and broke the pipe. Good thing about it, he didn't go back that far. So when I looked at it, he didn't go. I put a line on the ground. Show what, guys, these are all the things that can go. It's just, what else can go wrong? I mean, anything can go wrong, man. One of the concrete trucks break down right there. You see what I'm saying? That's anything can go wrong, man. And I had to always try to think. This guy, he could have bagged back, man. He could have hit my retaining wall, tore that up. Need I? And I'm just, let me say this right. I know that sounds negative. A lot of people, like even in my regular life, I always think of the worst stuff that can happen. But I try to plan for it. And you can't plan for everything, but you need to always be thinking of the problems. What could happen? And I'm always coming up, like I'm thinking about the problem, but I'm thinking about a solution at the same time. So I walk around all day thinking of solutions to things that can go wrong, which is why, really, to be honest with you guys, when people hire me as a contractor, you're hiring me to deal with the problem, not dealing with the things to go right. Because, if everything went right on the job, man, I mean, you wouldn't need a builder. You wouldn't need someone who's experienced in this stuff, to doing this stuff. That's why I don't have a problem even giving away and telling everybody, like doing a YouTube channel and explaining the whole process and everything. Because I could build the same house right next, and I've done that, guys. I built the same house right next to each other and ran into two separate problems on each house. So no matter, like I said, a house has over 300,000 parts. You're gonna have problems. The experience as a contractor is how do you handle those problems? And you gotta do it right, man, because I can guarantee you, if you cover up a problem, or you don't fix that problem as you have it, that homeowner's gonna see that problem. And I guarantee, there's not been a time in most cases that the homeowner called me and said, we had a problem, right? We had a problem. I already know what it is. And that's why I just started, instead of just, oh man, that's okay. I don't do that no more. I hadn't done that in about 15 years or so. That'll work. I don't do that, man. Hey, look, we're gonna address this, we're gonna address it to the entirety. Now, do I get all the problems? No, I'm not gonna catch all. I'm not gonna catch them all. There's still gonna be a matter of things that I'm not gonna catch, man. Like I said, this house has over 300 and some thousand parts. So it is what it is.
How do you like with something like this doing the driveway? How many concrete trucks would you do, and then how would you like schedule them to come out?
Yeah, now like I said, on this right here case, I calculated the square foot of concrete, which you got to get the cubic foot.
Right.
And then once I get the cubic foot, whatever it was, I divided the amount of cubic feet by 27, which is yards. That's cubic yards. Once you divide it by 27, that's going to give you how many yards you need to order. So in this case, I calculated, and on the high end, I always calculate on the high end, I calculated 40 yards. And so that's how I told him. I said we're gonna do 30 yards and a clean out. Each one of those trucks is supposed to carry 10 yards apiece. So that's why I said we're gonna do 30 yards. We're gonna do 3 trucks, and then that last truck may be right along in there, and then we'll do a clean out, which that truck is probably gonna carry. You know, we'll let them know how many yards they need to put on that truck at the end.
What about time limit? Within what time span would you order each truck?
But the distance between, really, they need to be about 20. I was scheduling 20 minutes apart. Now they asked me, and here's another thing, guys. I don't really like to deal with like I'd rather for my concrete guy to deal with the concrete people, because he understands his workers. He know who he's gonna hire to come out there and do that day, so he can gauge how fast they need these trucks to be spaced apart. And typically, man, 20 minutes apart is good. They give them a chance to work the concrete and do what they got to do, and then get the next truck in to where the truck's gonna be sitting around idle, because you don't want those trucks sitting too long, even with the little things spinning on them. You don't want it doing it too long, because after a certain amount of time, that concrete will start setting. It won't be as good to work with. It'll get a little hard to work with. Now, this right here, they started at 10. It'll take them the whole day. It get dark around 4 o'clock now, but it'll take them the whole day to work this concrete. Because they're gonna be, they gotta form it, they gotta finish it, then they're gonna have to turn around and they're gonna have to put the joints in it, and then they're gonna have to put a broom finish on it. So all that stuff is going on. So they got a ways to go.
That's it for me.
Huh?
That's it for me.
Okay. All right, man.